And we got 100 views on our last video
Nice.
because it has Jokic in it.
Yeah, I got Jokic on this one now too. I put Jokic and Bones Hyland because makes no sense. Okay, it is live. Hold on, let me put out the link, and then I will. We can begin. Up to 32 subscribers now.
Let's go.
That's 4 more than what it was last time. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. I guess we are good to start. This was a huge win. This is not only was it one of the most anticipated games of the past 2-3 seasons, maybe. I think since I haven't been this excited for a game since game 82, if I'm being 100% honest. Like a regular season game, obviously. Mm-hmm. I haven't been that excited since game 82 because this the implications of the MVP race, just the playoff implications that this game has are huge. So this was a huge win. Minnesota has been on fire. Denver needed this win to keep pace with Dallas and keep pace with Minnesota. It was a big win. Nikola Jokic, good all-around game. This was by far his worst game of the week, and he had 22, 13, and 8. Which is just, I think it's really funny. Jokic, Denver went down 19 very early in this game, and it looked like, okay, they just didn't come out to play. But then they started getting going like they usually do. They're not a good – they start well at home in the first quarter, but on the road, they're not a good first quarter team.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this was a huge win. They came back from down 19. Jokic got Embiid in foul trouble, which was huge. He couldn't be nearly as aggressive. You could see Embiid's impact defensively, though. Monte and Bones were terrified of going into the lane any time. But this is a big win. Big win for Denver.
Yeah, and Embiid also played pretty good defense on Jokic, I guess. So I guess the team did, especially when Embiid was in. Because Jokic did feast on DeAndre Jordan quite a bit. But yeah, this was a great game. Just taking, stepping away from the Jokic Embiid ball situation. This game was great. Bones Hyland, 21 points. I think he had 3 threes in a row.
The fourth, yeah.
Yeah, or I think maybe it was at the end of the third quarter. When the Sixers seemed like they were kind of pulling away, like they were up 8, 9, towards the end of the third, and then Bones, lit it up with a deep 3, couple of deep 3s, and just looking outside the Jokic Embiid battle, this was a great game.
Yeah, really good all-around game. Aaron Gordon, he only played 20 minutes. They said that he had some stomach issues at halftime. That's why he wasn't in there to close. Honestly, I thought that it was a good decision they didn't close with him because JaMychal Green had a really, really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, he was everywhere. He had 10 points, 8 rebounds. He was a plus 12. Talking about Bones, he is this game. I feel like this game is why you got to keep him in the playoff rotation and not Forbes. If you're going to keep one of them in, you got to keep Bones in because he's just so he can win. He is Jokic. I believe he's the MVP, and I believe that they won this game because of him. But Denver does not win without Bones Hyland in this game because of just the electricness. 4 of 9 from downtown, and 3 of them were deep threes. deep, and I think he hit the 1-3 that gave Denver the lead. They went up like 107, 105 or something. It was that was the game winner, I guess, if you want to say. They didn't give up the lead after that. But man, he has been playing really well for like a couple months straight now, and his consistency is really starting to show up. That had been the knock on him this entire year is, is he going to be consistent? Is he going to be consistent? He's consistent. He's been consistent for the last like month and a half, really. This was a big performance for him. 21 points. He controlled the game well. He didn't have one turnover.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make a lot of stupid passes, which is really good to see. Good.
Yeah, his growth has been amazing, and it just gets me so excited. I hope he can be not just like a 6-man plug, spark plug, but someone that you can really, add to the future core of the Nuggets as some players get older. And yeah, I also agreed with JaMychal Green playing over Gordon too. Just seemed also Gordon coming in with the foot issues.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like he was as athletic or as, like spry as he usually is.
Yeah.
And then JaMychal Green. I like the fouls too that he gave out. He had 5 fouls.
Mm-hmm.
Both him and Cousins had 5, and I kind of like that aspect of the bench where like you just get 2 guys out here who
they're like beat you up.
Yeah, exactly. They're just physical guys who just it doesn't matter about the fouls really. I mean, you're only playing 20, between Cousins and Green, like 12 to 20 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Who else did I think? Will Barton was interesting. Like he made some shots that really helped, obviously, but like in kind of clutch situations when Philly was pulling away. But he did have some, Will Barton mental errors, I guess.
Yeah.
But overall, 20 points on 50% shooting.
Yeah.
Take that. Really.
This was like, I mean, the first half was rough for Will Barton. Yeah. It was rough because defensively, the issues that stemmed over from Toronto. I am glad we're not able to stream after that game because I think I would have broken things on camera because the offensive rebounding issues were so. I mean, they had 27 offensive rebounds Toronto had last game. I mean, it was insane. They completely dominated the glass. Denver, and a lot of that was because of Will Barton. I mean, he was not boxing out. He was getting left off ball. Like everything was happening. Philadelphia only had 11 offensive rebounds today, which is and they didn't get many second chance points really in the entire second half. They rebounded well. He improved defensively in the second half a lot. There's only so much you can do against James Harden when he's foul baiting every single drive.
I don't know how you can really like just stop that because he just drives and he's so good with his arm off the ball when he's like up here and he's running like this. Mm-hmm. Like he hooks the guy's arm in there, but he makes it so
it's every drive. It's every drive, and he makes it look so convincing every single time.
Yeah,
I
know.
Fault.
I know.
He has made it an art, but it is a very, very annoying art. That was a tough. It was tough to watch James Harden. I think might be the most unwatchable player in the entire NBA, honestly.
Yeah, either him or and the thing is, like, it's gotten better. I mean, it was way worse before this.
Oh yeah, it was in Houston. It was so bad.
And the way he had like a 3 that he got fouled on, just the way he shoots, like he kicks his legs out so far, but that's the way he shoots, and that's how he draws all those fouls is because his feet from when he jumps to where his feet land. I mean, it's like 3 feet in front of him.
Yeah. His landing space is ginormous. It's huge. It's tough to guard that. I mean, he had 24 on 6 made shots. Are you kidding me? Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. He was good playmaking though, 11 assists.
Yeah. That's what they got him there. He does not have to score. Embiid is gonna take that mantle of scoring. He had 34 points. Embiid, this was a game where he got a couple calls in terms of like it's like, okay, that's weak or that's soft. But I mean, most of his free throws were like legit fouls, like actual, like he got hacked. And I think that's what 76ers fans like when he's at like 9 to 10 free throw attempts, those are like legit calls. But then every once in a while have a game like he did last night where he had 19 free throw attempts, or a few days ago, or a couple weeks ago he had like 28 free throw attempts or whatever. Every once in a while he'll just have a game where they will just call fouls that don't exist. And have like this saying where it's like, well, just don't foul him then. And I think this was one of those games where that is very applicable. Like, oh, just don't foul him.
And he did have some. He just like rams into the defender at times, and they did call offensive fouls. I think he got called for 2 offensive fouls.
Yeah.
After a challenge, but I mean, he played so well today. 3 for 3 from 3. I mean, he made that one crazy circus shot over Rivers and Jokic towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he was outstanding. Really until I don't know. I mean,
it was just like
really until the end of the fourth quarter.
It was just the final few possessions. And I think those possessions where you could see Jokic's growth as a one-on-one defender. He was staying straight up the entire time. He wasn't getting overzealous. He wasn't trying to block the shots. He was just trying to stay up and make it as tough as possible. And he's gotten so much better at that this season and last season.
And I also Malone's kind of game plan I saw towards the end of the game when Harden and Embiid were in, it was kind of just blitz 2 defenders at, I think it was mostly Jokic who would come up and hedge the pick and roll, really blitz Harden, force Harden to pass it to Embiid, and you make Embiid a passer, and he turned it over a couple times in the fourth quarter. You either make him a passer or you have a guy like JaMychal Green who's tough, who I think drew both of the offensive fouls. At least he drew two. I think maybe Boogie, one was against Harden.
Boogie had one. Oh, Boogie was the Harden one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you either make Embiid draw an offensive foul or make him pass, because really he doesn't have that floater that Jokic does in his book. So yeah, I like the defense there, but that was some exceptional shot making by Embiid.
Yeah, he was, the defense that they played on him was great for most of his shot attempts. There were a couple miscues where he was open and he just got like a wide open mid range, which is that's his game. He shot so many mid ranges. I think that's the key difference between Jokic and Embiid. Embiid is so much of a primarily jump shooter, and Jokic, last few seasons he had been a really good mid range shooter, and he still is. But he has kind of reverted away from that, and he's been in the paint so much, just because of the spacing issues that Denver has. Like, he has to be in the paint just to draw the defense in and collapse it. But like, he's just like, that's the difference between them this season. That's why Jokic's efficiency is much better. This is just a phenomenal all-around game. I mean, if you're a basketball fan and you don't have a horse in this race, this was a great game to watch. I mean, phenomenal game, because it was back and forth in the fourth quarter. It was huge, big shots by both teams. Really, really, really solid game. Really solid effort.
Yeah.
It was good to watch. This is a huge. I mean, Minnesota is like right there. We were talking about it earlier. Karl-Anthony Towns right now has 56 points in 32 minutes.
Yeah. He's back in the game with 8 minutes left.
Okay. So he's gonna get 60. So he's getting 60. And Minnesota has been on an absolute roll as of late. They have a tough stretch of games coming up. Let me see what it is. They go Lakers on Wednesday. Then it's Bucks, Mavs, Suns, Mavs, Celtics, Raptors. It's March. Like, that's tough.
Yeah,
that is a rough stretch of games. So Denver hopefully has some cushion there. But yeah, like Minnesota has been right on their heels the entire.
It's annoying. All 3 of these teams, Denver, Dallas, and Minnesota, are having like their hottest stretch of games right now. I mean, Dallas can't lose. Denver can't really lose.
Yeah.
Minnesota can't lose. It is. It's annoying because it's like, damn, like we're winning so much, we should be pulling away. But the other fans are thinking that too.
Yeah, they're thinking the exact same thing.
So it's cool though, a little race for the 5 seed and to avoid the play-in.
Yeah.
I mean, really, Utah's only 2 games up of Denver right now, and if they lose,
it's
today,
close. Yeah, Denver has a legit shot at getting the 4 seed.
Yeah.
Like, and Monte Morris said in a post-game interview a couple days ago, I think, like, they want home court. Like, they want home court. Home court, it would be so huge.
Yeah, it would.
You know, especially with Jamal Murray and MPJ hopefully coming back at some point. There's a report that came out yesterday, 2 days ago, that Jamal Murray's 50-50 to come back this season, which I think all of us had kind of started to assume based on like how he had acted in interviews and what the team was putting out. Hopefully, Michael Porter Jr. sometime this week gets sent to Grand Rapids because he was supposed to do it. But I think if he was supposed to be cleared, 2 weeks ago, or if the report came out he's going to be cleared 2 weeks ago, like next week, the next coming weeks would be when he's going to come back. So he should go to Grand Rapids soon. So be on the lookout for that.
Yep. Let's hope.
Help is on the way. And for Denver to win,
hopefully Jamal goes to Grand Rapids too.
Yeah. I think to win this game without your your 2 and your 3, basically without your 2 and your 3 to win this game is huge. And Denver, a lot of us have been extremely critical of the supporting cast around Nikola Jokic because, I mean, if we're being brutally honest, most of the year they've been really bad. But like the last month-ish, ever since DeMarcus Cousins, really, they have been much, much better. There's been a steady force. And
that bench is definitely a positive now, I think.
Yeah, 100%. That stretch in the beginning of
doing what he's doing.
Yeah, that stretch in the beginning of the fourth was huge. Denver came back, they tied the game, they took the lead for a little bit. Mostly because of Bones Hyland played well. Austin Rivers has been playing phenomenal as of late. Bryn Forbes, he struggled in the first 3 quarters of the game, but in the fourth quarter he hit a 3 and he got a floater, those are 2 huge buckets.
Yeah. DeMarcus had 2 huge threes too, back to back.
Yeah.
That was okay. Maybe those are the 3s I'm thinking of that I kind of got confused with Bones, but it was when the Sixers were definitely pulling away, and Boogie stepped up and hit 2 threes, and you could just feel like those 3s dropping in just felt so big in the game.
Yeah,
something about them. I mean, they were kind of like rainbows, and they just dropped in.
Yeah,
you needed those.
They were huge. DeMarcus Cousins has been so good. He's been so good for Denver, and I don't know if he's good. I would assume his market, because of how well he's played in the offseason, is going to be a lot bigger. Maybe Denver drafts a center in the first round with their pick this year. Who knows what happens in the offseason, but I would love for DeMarcus Cousins to stay a Nugget, like to seeing his impact with this bench unit. I'd love to see him with a fully healthy bench unit. I would love to see him. I think him and Zeke Naji worked really well. I think next year, I would hope, if Zeke is healthy. I don't know what's going on with him. He came back for 1 game, then he got hurt in that game again. So he hopefully him and Zeke Naji next year, hopefully that would be a good duo. We'll see what happens with Davon Reed and let's see if Bones is still in the starting lineup or if he's on the bench, whatever happens. But he has been like a true turning point to the season because he turned the bench from a severe negative to a neutral or a positive even. So really good job by
definitely credit to him
and all that to do that.
I don't know if we have much more to say about the Nuggets.
I don't know. Jokic had a crazy stretch last week. He the 2 losses kind of. I think if we won one of those games, Saturday or Thursday against Golden State or Saturday against Toronto, he probably would have won Player of the Week. But going 2-2, or going 3-2 after 4 games and 5 nights was just so dumb by the NBA.
I know. Oh my God, that was tough.
That was rough. The fact that they won 3 out of 4 of those is insane. And that Golden State game is exactly why I want to play them in a postseason series, because if Denver has rest going into that game, they win, because Jokic was so tired, and that Golden State's defense is legit, but they were just so tired.
Yeah, I know. That was when Jokic 0 for 8 from 3. I think he played not horrible in this game, like just the way it felt. I know he shot 9 for 21 and 0 for 8 from 3, but like, you know, if you don't shoot 8 of those threes, he's 9 for 13 from 2. So I thought he actually played decent that game, but obviously not good enough to win. Steph Curry was outstanding in the second half, especially.
Yeah.
Wiggins
back.
Wiggins is bad right now. He's really bad.
Yeah.
I don't understand how he just can't make free throws. It's
so weird. He's a good shooter. Like a really good shooter. I don't understand what happened. It's very odd. Very, very odd situation. Like he might not be in a closing lineup for them in a postseason series because he cannot make a free throw. Like that is insane to think about. That an all-star start. Like I wouldn't have had a problem if Wiggins made the all-star team because I think he had a good season. But for him to be an all-star starter and not be able to make free throws is mind-boggling.
Yeah. But other than that, do you have anything else to say about the NBA?
Not really. I guess I'll look through. Boston is still really good.
Toronto is up 21-2 against the Lakers.
With LeBron playing.
I know, with LeBron.
Toronto's good. I actually, you know what, I'll talk a little bit about Toronto. They kind of struggled a little bit out of the All-Star break, but that game on Saturday was insane. Like the lineup that they put out, that they were able to put, like Van Vliet and OG Anunoby were out. OG Anunoby's out for a while, but the bench lineup that they were able to run, they ran an 8-man rotation. They had Chris Boucher, Scotty Barnes, Delano Banton, Kem Birch, and I think Siakam was still in there with that lineup. And they ran an offense perfectly fine with 5 players above 6'8". And I've never seen that ever in my life.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's like everyone except Van Vliet is like 6'6" to 6'8" on their team.
It's insane. And that team was that lineup. They ran Denver off the court and they just out rebounded them. It was insane. That game, that lineup was crazy. Scotty Barnes, they played him at point guard this game, and he had 25 and 10 assists with 8 rebounds. He is incredible. I really like. He's 5 for 5 right now.
I know.
10 points, 3 rebounds. But he's incredible. I think that. I think Toronto made the right pick. A lot of people criticize them, including myself, when they pick Suggs instead of, or when they pick Barnes instead of Suggs. But that has clearly turned out to be the right choice.
Yeah, he's been magnificent. Yeah. Cat's still at 56 points. I mean, I guess that's probably pretty much it about the NBA right now. We'll check back in after the Nuggets play the Wizards on Wednesday. But now I guess I don't know if we can change the title or whatever, but heading to NFL stuff. Big news. I think it was Tuesday. And I was like snowboarding.
I was also snowboarding.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Rogers, I got the news from a ski patrol, whatever, ski attendant, whatever, like someone at the lift.
Yeah.
And my friend was wearing a Packers jacket because he's a Packers fan. And the guy's like, "Oh, you're a Packers fan? You must be pretty happy." And we're both like, "Wait, why?" And he was like, "Rogers decided to go back." So I'm like, "No." He's like all happy and everything. But then an hour later, Russell Wilson is our quarterback. And that made me go from kind of disappointed to really happy really quickly.
Yeah.
I know I'm not the biggest Russ, fan throughout his career or whatever, but he's a good quarterback still. And that's exactly what this team needed. And let's hope they get going on some free agents maybe. Yeah. We did just sign a D tackle, which is exactly what I've been saying for the past 5 months. And we finally get a fat defensive tackle.
A run stuffer.
Yeah.
Absolute run stuffer.
Yeah. DJ Jones from the Niners. So that was a good pickup. But yeah, going back to the Wilson stuff, I mean, there's nothing. I think this was a perfect trade for Denver.
Yep.
And even you could look at it as like a blessing in disguise that they got Wilson rather than Rodgers, because what if Rodgers comes, wins his Super Bowl this year, and then he's like, okay, I'm out, and he retires, or he could just go one more year with Denver, not win the Super Bowl, and he could just say, okay, I'm done too. You just don't know with Rodgers. Every offseason brings something weird with him. So getting a guy much younger who you can keep around for probably the next 5 to 7 years to really build with this young offensive nucleus that we got going here at receiver and running back and O-line as well. So having a good leader, I think he's probably a good leader.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Russell Wilson.
This was a phenomenal trade. The fact that Denver didn't give up any legit offensive weapons in this trade is perfect. You don't give up Judy, you don't give up Sutton, you don't give up Javonte Williams. You have to give up Noah Fant, but you have Albert O, who was arguably better than Fant last season anyway. So it's not that big of a drop off. Locke, I think both of us think Locke can be a starting quarterback in the NFL. We think he'd be a good one if he has the right coaching, the right people around him. Hopefully he can get that in Seattle, but he clearly was not going to get that in Denver. So giving him up really doesn't, mean anything. Giving Shelby Harris, him going was that was the only part of the trade that hurt to me, really.
Yeah. That was tough, but I mean, he is, I think, 31, 32.
Yeah, he's not. He's not young. It's just him being a presence in the locker room. He's had so many great moments with Denver. But to get a guy the caliber of Russell Wilson, you have to give up something of substantial value. And I think Shelby Harris unfortunately had to be that. But you signed DJ Jones as his replacement, essentially, which is a pretty good replacement. Usually good for that 49ers defense last season.
I think this really opens the door up with Harris gone, I think, to be Draymond Jones to be the primary pass rushing defensive interior defensive lineman. I wouldn't really call him a D tackle, but I mean, a guy from the inside who can bring pressure. So I'm excited with him pairing up with DJ Jones, and hopefully the Broncos pick up another pass rusher. Chandler Jones seems to be a hot name.
I don't know if they have the cap spaces.
Randy Gregory.
Yeah, Randy Gregory, Von Miller, Chandler Jones. Those seem to be the three hot names. With Hassan Reddick signing with Philly, I believe, earlier today. I mean, the Russell Wilson stuff, it is. I mean, the Denver, their biggest issue for the past 5 seasons has been quarterback and coaching. And they seemingly solved both of those in one offseason. George Payton, he's done a phenomenal job the last 2 offseasons, his first 2 offseasons as a general manager. I honestly don't know if he could have done a better job. He did a perfect job with everything. Just a great overall. I mean, the trade, you also get a 4th-round pick back, which is good. And Wilson, I think a lot of people are understating his fit with Denver because Hackett, he wants to do outside zone running and he wants to throw long bombs. He wants to throw bombs. And Russell Wilson's best attribute is his deep ball, his mobility and his deep ball. And you got 2 deep ball threats in Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton. We're going to feast on it. Jerry Jeudy, I'm expecting near 1,000 yards. I think he'll be the leading receiver on this team. KJ Hamler, I'm expecting him to have a good season. I think him and Tyler Lockett are 2 similar archetype of receivers. And Tyler Lockett was a favorite of Russell Wilson, so I think they'll get along really well. I think this is perfect. This is exactly what Denver needs. Russell Wilson, I don't think he's in the upper echelon of quarterbacks. I don't even know if he's in the I think he's in the second tier of quarterbacks. I think top 3 goes Mahomes, Rodgers, Allen. And you got the second tier guys like Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Burrow, and I think Russell Wilson is with those guys.
Yeah.
This is phenomenal. The trade's going to become official.
I mean,
there's
nothing you can complain about really. You do give up the 2 first-rounders, but I think you still got 5 or 6 picks in like the top 115 or something. So the Nuggets still have, or the Broncos still have some picks to work with, especially in the second round.
They do. They still have
third round.
So top 100 picks. There was a Justin Reed signed with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which sucks.
I know. At least Tyron is gone.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu's gone.
But Justin Reed is pretty good. I kind of wanted the Broncos to get Justin Reed.
Yeah, me too. I wanted Justin Reed. But hopefully either we draft a safety or we just bring K-Jack back. Or we just think Caden Stearns is ready. I don't think he's ready for full-time strong safeties. I think you hopefully bring K-Jack back. But who knows?
There's still I wonder if stuff goes down tonight. There's still a lot of free agents available. Teron Armstead, Chandler Jones, Allen Robinson, Bobby Wagner, Von Miller, Tyrann Mathieu, Gilmore, Chark, Odell, who's probably not going to play much. But there's still a lot of good choices out there.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what they do at corner 3. Like, are you going to re-sign Bryce Callahan? Are you going to draft a corner with one of those second or third round picks?
I think.
Or do you just trust Ojemudia?
Yeah, I was going to say. I think Michael Ojemudia had a very underrated rookie season. It was pretty tough because the 2 guys in front of him, Callahan and AJ Boye, were out for a majority of that year. So he had to be thrust into, cornerback 1 duties from the jump, which is obviously as a rookie drafted in the 3rd round, like that. Obviously that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But I thought he played pretty well. And I think that when he came back for the last couple of games of the season, he had a pretty
played well on those too. Yeah.
I thought he played pretty well. So I think as a cornerback 3 behind Darby and Surtain, I think he can be pretty good. You definitely want some more depth though. So if they do decide to bring back Callahan, I would be all for it. Callahan's been incredible here. The only problem is the injuries. But if you do bring him back, I would be all for that.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, they also still have a bit of a hole. I don't know if Melvin Gordon's coming back. I doubt it at this point.
Yeah, probably not.
If they didn't get a deal done before because we were able to sign him because he's our free agent. If we didn't get a deal done before, I doubt that he's coming back. So you do have a little bit of a hole back there. Who knows if Mike Boone is ready for that. I mean, he had like 10 carries. He looked good in those 10 carries.
Yeah, he did really look good.
If you think he's ready for that running back 2 duties, sure. But I think you probably draft one or get somebody else. Tight end behind Albert O suddenly becomes a bit of a need. I really wanted Will Dissly.
I thought that they were going to get Will Dissly as well
because he would have been a perfect fit as a blocking tight end in that scheme. He's got familiarity with Russ, but he re-signed with Seattle. So who knows? Maybe they trade up in the second round or something and get their guy. Maybe they get Trey McBride or something. I'm not sure. But
they did re-sign Beck, but he's kind of a full.
He's a fullback.
Yeah.
They also have a need at returner now. Spencer isn't going to return, so they need a returner.
Thank you.
Maybe who knows? Maybe KJ Hamler goes back there.
Tyree Cleveland, maybe.
Tyree Cleveland.
He was doing some of those.
Yeah, they have options in house, but I would also look for them to go outside for that.
Yeah. But yeah, really not much to talk about with Denver yet. I feel like tomorrow. It seems like I know George Payton waited a while last offseason too to really dive into free agency, and Ronald Darby was the first signing. And he took a while today, and we'll see if he'll get more deals done tonight or tomorrow. I mean, there will be more deals, hopefully.
Yeah, there's going to be more. I really wanted Sebastian Joseph Day. Who went to the Chargers.
Oh my God, the Chargers. We should talk. I have the teams pulled up.
Yeah.
Right here with like free agent signings. The Bills didn't really do anything.
The Chargers, man.
I know. Hold on, I'm going through these teams.
Yeah, go through. I'll talk about it when we get to that.
Dolphins get Teddy Bridgewater, so they finally get, their best quarterback on their roster is now on the team. Chase Edmonds, that's a good pickup. I like the pickup, especially in that San Fran offense.
Me too.
who did so well with Mostert, and you get a similar type of guy in Edmonds, both
Yeah,
speedsters.
I really like
I
that pickup.
thought Edmonds was actually like really good with the Cardinals. Like anytime he started, like it felt like he was on kind of the brink of like stardom, really.
Yeah, I did too. I thought he was a better running back than James Conner was last
Yeah,
season. Like honestly.
yeah. So that's a good pickup. Cedric Wilson, good third, fourth option. Getting Emmanuel Ogba back was huge for them too.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots haven't done anything except lose J.C. Jackson, of course. The Jets, Tevin Coleman, Braxton Berrios, C.J. Uzama, and then a couple offensive linemen too. I think they've had a great offseason so far. I forget. They lost someone to the Jaguars, whatever his name was. It's a African name. Fadu Kasi, I think that's his name.
The Jacks signed everybody. They shelled out as much money as they possibly could on day one.
The Bengals get Alex Kappa. That was a huge pickup for them.
That's really big.
Browns trade for Amari Cooper, and Jarvis Landry is down to the Saints or the Chiefs, most likely. Hopefully not the Chiefs.
I pray not the Chiefs, man.
But yeah, Amari Cooper is a Brown. Sure, I guess that's good wide receiver. Steelers get Mitchell Trubisky as their future quarterback.
I honestly like that. I honestly like.
I do too. I think he's I don't think he's horrible. He's definitely better than Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, 100%. And I think learning behind Josh Allen, but like sitting for a year and being able to like get his mental game up a little more. Hopefully that's able to help. If Pittsburgh is able to bring back Juju Smith-Schuster, I think they got a solid wide receiver room there still. Obviously, you have Najee Harris, improve that line a little bit. I think that Mitch can be pretty good there because that defense is still really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, that team definitely has a lot of pieces around it. Maybe they still draft a quarterback. You never know, but I think that was a good pickup. Maybe I feel like they would like give Trubisky next year, see what happens, and then draft a quarterback in the next class if Trubisky is horrible and they get like a top 10 pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like the Trubisky fit with them. Trubisky, honestly, like he led the Bears to the playoffs twice with Matt Nagy. So I think with Mike Tomlin, he'll be a lot better. He had like a legit good season in 2018, like a legit season in 2018. So we'll see what happens. But
Houston Texans haven't really done anything, but they will trade Deshaun Watson probably tomorrow, I would assume, to either
Carolina
or New Orleans, yeah, because I guess he shut out the Seahawks today. But Texans will get good players. If he goes to Carolina and they got to trade like Brian Burns and like 3 first-round picks, I mean, I'm doing that if I'm Houston. Or really whatever the Saints give. Like, I don't know. I don't think there's a player on the Saints as like enticing as Brian Burns is that they can trade. So
the Saints have a lot of players that they can give up, but I don't think any of them you give up for Deshaun because Deshaun's going to need those guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Brian Burns is just a good young player. It seems like those are always the players that go in the trades. So we'll see. Maybe they even trade McCaffrey. The Colts re-signed Mo Alley-Cox, and they traded Carson Wentz for was a package like a third and a fourth or something.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
Yeah,
2/3 maybe.
But I like that for Washington. I mean, that's a good, talented team. And Carson Wentz gets hated on or whatever, because he makes those dumb mistakes. But so does Taylor Heineke, and Wentz is better than Taylor Heineke. Better than Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's better than Jimmy Garoppolo, probably. And so, really, I think that's a pretty good pickup for Washington.
Yeah.
I guess he has some character leadership issues.
Wentz?
Yeah, that's what the Colts were kind of, the players didn't like him or something. And then Frank Reich had to go apologize to the owner. Or maybe he's the other way around. the GM, I think, apologized to Frank Reich for trading for Wentz. I think stuff kind of just went south, especially after that loss to the Jags, and just his stupid mistakes and everything. But
Yeah.
it probably all started, maybe when he didn't get vaccinated and causing drama there. Had to miss a game or a practice because he was in protocols when he wouldn't have been if he had gotten vaccinated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think that's all this stuff about Wentz. I still think that's a pretty decent pickup for Washington.
Same. I think this is by far the best quarterback Terry McLaurin's ever gonna have played with up until this point.
Yeah.
I still think they probably need one more piece.
Mm-hmm.
They still have their first round pick, which is in the top 10, I believe. So they'll have a chance to get a guy. But I think, I like it. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I like it for Washington. You didn't give up a second round pick. Give up 2/3. Really isn't that big of a deal for a guy who can lead you to the playoffs. I will say that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Jacksonville Jaguars, here we go. Start off with Christian Kirk, the third highest paid receiver in NFL history now. 4 years, $72 million with max value of $84 million. This is definitely going to change up. I don't think you see wide receivers signing in a while, like Jarvis or like Juju or some of the other wide receivers out there, because this just destroyed the entire market. Because Juju's definitely going to be like, yo, I'm better than Christian Kirk. Like, so, oh man, the Jags, man. I bet all these teams are pissed off. Allen Robinson is going to ask for like $27 million now, all because of Christian Kirk. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Allen Robinson is the second highest paid receiver behind Hopkins, who is that weird, earning a ton of money, but it's a short contract.
Yeah.
But he earns a ton per year. So probably the second highest paid receiver, Allen Robinson, maybe.
Yeah. I saw that deal, and I saw so many Broncos fans, and I agree with them saying, like, wow, like Peyton getting those extensions done with Patrick and Sutton during the season looks so good now, because you're getting them both at like 10 to 15 a year. And you look at a guy like Christian Kirk getting $21 million a year. It's just like, like Michael Gallup getting a lot. Mike Williams got $20 million a year. Michael Gallup's getting like 18 a year. So like, I honestly think Sutton and Patrick are better than all those guys. And I like I like the idea that Jacksonville's going all in, because Astros will say them even more free agents that they signed. But they're like, this is insane. Like, for Christian Kirk, really? Like, you didn't give that to Allen Robinson? Like, I feel like if you're gonna give that much money, give it to Robinson. I don't know.
Maybe you didn't want to go back to Jacksonville, Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I guess you're surrounding your number one overall pick with weapons. You get Evan Ingram, who's a pretty good tight end. And you bring in Zay Jones. I didn't even realize they signed Zay Jones until reading this right now.
Yeah, they gave him 3 years, $30 million.
Yeah. So I know the weapons still aren't that good when Christian Kirk is your number one option. But I guess you're loading up the O-line. Trying to just reestablish the culture, I guess, because what Lawrence had to deal with last year was horrible.
Oh my God.
So, who else do they get? They franchise tag Cam Robinson. That was also another weird one. It's like Cam Robinson. I mean, he's not too special to really receive the franchise tag, I think, for the second straight year, which is kind of weird. They did sign Brandon Scherf, which is, I think, a good deal.
Yeah, I really like that.
Foley, I really like this one. These next two, Foley Fadukasi from the Jets, a great defensive tackle. I don't know why the Jets didn't because this is only a 3-year, $30 million deal. I mean, only 10 per year. I don't know why they didn't do that, but they also signed Foyesade Oluokun. I think this could be, 3 years, 45 is a lot of money, but I think Foyesade is, he's a really good linebacker.
Yeah, he is. They addressed almost every single need that they had. They got people on defense. They beefed up their offensive line. They got weapons around Trevor Lawrence, and now they still have a pick to the top pick. You know, they're second, right? Second or first? I think they're second. Behind Detroit.
Yeah, no, Detroit doesn't have the first pick.
Yeah, no, Detroit has the first pick.
Oh yeah, they do. They do. Why am I? Yeah, okay, they do.
They have a top 3 pick. I know Jacksonville has a top 3 pick regardless. I don't know if it's second or third. But
why was I thinking Detroit as like?
Because they're not like they weren't bad.
No, okay. Detroit has the second pick. Jacksonville has the first pick.
Oh, I thought
that's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then Jacksonville has the first pick, and they can take whoever they want defensively, or if they want to take another offensive lineman, they want to. I don't know if Evan Neal's worth the first overall pick, but they can trade down and get him. They can take Tyler Lindenbaum. You have to pick up Hutchinson or Thibodeau defensively. If you want another weapon, you can trade down even more and get a guy like Olave or Drake London or Garrett Wilson. So like they have their pick. I think they've done a really good job. Like they gave a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they had money to spend.
They had money to spend.
There you go. Tennessee Titans haven't done anything really. They just re-signed Harold Landry and Ben Jones. Denver Broncos moving on to the AFC West. Russell Wilson, DJ Jones, Andy re-signed Calvin Anderson. Still hoping we go right tackle either in the draft or pay for one now. Still hoping for another edge, obviously.
You still got to figure out if you're going to bring back Josie Jewell or Kenny Young. I know we tendered the rights for Jonas Griffith, which I really like. And honestly, the way Jonas Griffith ended the season, if you go into the season with Baron Browning and Jonas Griffith as your 1-2, like that's not horrible. I think that you can definitely live with that.
Yeah.
But you probably still need some depth. So you have 3 guys in house who you can bring back. But
yeah.
Chiefs
just signed Justin Reed, and they gave Orlando Brown the franchise tag. And they just reworked Frank. I thought Frank Clark was definitely going to be cut, but
they restructured. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 years. I mean, that's still a lot of money for Frank Clark. 2 years, $30 million, pretty much. But there you go. Raiders haven't done anything except give Max Crosby a new deal. Chargers. There we go. The Chargers have been. Remember, like the Patriots last year when they just went all out. I mean, they were like, it felt like they were signing everyone. It feels like the Chargers right now. I mean, you trade for Khalil Mack, only giving up a 2nd-round pick and a 6th-round pick. J.C. Jackson give a big deal to. Sebastian Joseph Day, as you talked about, is good. Austin Johnson, and they re-signed Mike Williams. So this has been a great free agency period, I think, for the Chargers.
Yeah.
The AFC West is so good.
It was absolutely loaded. The Chargers, I mean, their biggest problem was their defense. Like, the offense would always – I mean, Herbert, we both think he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. He's phenomenal. That offense is killer. You have all the weapons around him that you need. You just had to shore up the defense, and they did. You get Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. I think that's automatically that leaps up into the top 3 pass rushing duos in the league, if not number 1. You had J.C. Jackson, who has been great the last 2 seasons. So you put him alongside Asante Samuel. You have Derwin James in the back. That's a really good secondary, a much improved secondary. Huge. I mean, they didn't even give up a first for Khalil Mack either, which is crazy.
Yeah, this has been great for the Chargers. NFC East, Dallas Cowboys re-signed Michael Gallup, which is big for them. Even though he is coming off a torn ACL, I still really like him. I don't really understand why you kind of give him this huge deal, but you want to get rid of Amari Cooper's big deal. Because Amari Cooper is clearly the better player, and it's not like Gallup is too much younger. He's probably like 2 years younger, but
yeah, I didn't get it either. Yeah, I really didn't get it either. I mean,
and they gave Dalton Schultz the franchise tag.
That was weird.
Pretty big, yeah. They do sign DeMarcus Lawrence back. That's pretty much it for them.
See what they do with Randy Gregory. Hopefully he's in Denver.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
New York Giants haven't done anything really. Eagles signed Hassan Reddick. I don't know. Hassan Reddick isn't that good, but
he's decent. They paid a lot for him.
I know they did pay a lot, but it seemed like he kind of, I don't know. I remember that year in Arizona where he had 10 sacks, I think, but like 5 of them came in one game. So really he had like 5 sacks in like 15 games. And then last year with the Panthers, I know he kind of burst out on the scene pretty quickly, I think, but he fell off quite a bit towards the end of the year, but whatever. I guess it's a solid pass rusher.
Oh, Cat hit 60.
Did
he? Yeah.
The Vikings are releasing Michael Pierce. It's another good fat guy. The Broncos want him.
The Cowboys. Lyle Collins. Whatever happens with him.
Oh yeah, that's a big one too. I'm hoping that's the right tackle that I'm hoping for.
That's the guy that I want. Mm-hmm. You don't need to overpay for it, but
yeah.
But if he does get released, I feel like Denver should be pretty aggressive in trying to get him. I don't know how much money they have to work with right now, but they should. They should go after him.
Yeah, I don't know how the Chargers can like afford any of it. I mean, I don't know how any of this like works, but whatever. The Saints freed up a ton of cap space doing something.
Cap space is so fake. It's so fake. It does not exist.
Larry Ogunjobi, I kind of wanted him as a Bronco, but he went to the Bears. Big deal there.
The Bengals lost a lot of free agents.
They did. They re-signed B.J. Hill, and they
they lose Ogunjobi.
Yeah.
They lose Uzama. They're not. They have to go and get a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
They lost somebody else too.
They did. God, I forget who they lost. I don't know.
Yeah, but they did not bring back a lot of free agents.
Yeah. Detroit hasn't done anything except re-sign their players. Packers, Devontae Adams say he will not be playing on the franchise tag. So we'll see what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like, will he really just not play? Like, I mean, you got Rodgers back. Like, wasn't that the whole kind of thing? Is like, get Rodgers back, and then Devontae will be like happy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he'll really just not play, but it sounds like they're not even close, really, on a
either. Yeah, because he wants to play with Rodgers, but obviously he wants to be paid like a top receiver. And now with Christian Kirk getting $21 million, he is definitely going to try and drive that price up as much as he can. Which is that. I mean, I don't know how the Packers are going to do. I know they released Billy Turner, who could be if Denver wants to bring him back, but like they do not have a lot of room to work with in terms of money.
Yeah, they also released Zadarius Smith, but they did re-sign Preston Smith, and they re-signed Devondre Campbell. So those are two good signings for their defense. I thought they were going to lose at least 2 of Zadarius, who they lost, but I thought they were going to lose either Preston or Devondre Campbell. But they didn't, and that was pretty good by their part, because they were so negative in cap space, and after this Rodgers deal, which you still don't really know what it is. I mean, it's probably 4 years, $200 million, but it's like Rodgers said it's not. I don't know what the whole deal is there.
Yeah, I really don't know what it is.
The Vikings signed Kirk Cousins to a 1-year extension. Whatever.
Looks like they're going to keep competing. I like the fit. I like the fit with him and Kevin O'Connell. I think it's a good. I think it's good to keep him, but I don't know. The direction of that team is still. I don't know what it is.
Kirk Cousins got a lot of money for being a slightly above average quarterback in his career.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not slightly. Right? He's an above average quarterback for his career.
He's good. He's just not.
That is a lot of money, though.
$60 million guaranteed. Good.
Yeah. Falcons haven't done anything. Carolina Panthers. They signed Austin Corbett from the Rams. I'm guessing Deshaun goes to the Panthers.
I think they have more to offer.
Yeah. But I think it feels like it kind of depends on where Watson wants to go.
Yeah,
Because
he
he's
does
meeting with
have
the teams. I guess he rejected the Seahawks.
he does have no
Maybe.
trade. I mean, if I was Deshaun, I would want to go to New Orleans. I think that roster is built way better to win
Mm-hmm.
than Carolina, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe if he wants more money, Carolina could definitely give him that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady is back out of retirement. I don't know. Like, people kept giving Rodgers, like, saying Rodgers, oh, he's such a drama queen for announcing decision. Literally on the date that he said he was going to announce it, by the way, in the
Yeah.
beginning of this. But when Tom Brady comes back, oh, he's the hero. He's not a drama queen at all. He is back. Let's go. The GOAT is back. I mean, I like it. It's cool because I just want to see how this year plays out for him.
Yeah. I also think he did it so he could get. I'm not saying this is the sole reason, but he gets like a proper farewell tour, which I think he deserves. I don't think that the one of the greatest quarterbacks of all. I don't think he's the greatest of all time. I think he's the greatest of all time. I don't think he's the best of all time. So like I think a quarterback of that caliber, obviously you have to. He can't just go out without anyone knowing what his future was. Like you gotta something has to happen for that.
Yeah.
But you can't just leave everything up in the air and then well, especially with like the drama about him like after announcing that he's retiring and him not retiring and now he's retiring, now he's not retiring again. So
I know.
Weird.
And just the whole he's been teasing it, like he said, like don't keep the door shut or something like that. And
yeah.
Quote last week or a couple weeks ago, and then there's the whole Ronaldo thing where it looked like Ronaldo asked him, "Are you done?" And Brady's like, I don't know. And then like a day after that video surfaced, he announced he's back. Yeah, it is kind of funny because he's just been teasing, but people don't treat him the same as Rodgers with all this drama stuff, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But they get Chris Godwin back, they get Ryan Jensen back, which is huge, and they get Carlton Davis back, which is big too. But they did lose Alex Kappa, and they did lose the guy who retired, Marpet.
Ali Marpet.
So yeah, I mean they got a ton of free agents, but bringing back Jensen and Davis and Godwin has been good with them for them.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge for them. Yeah, they would have had to go searching for a quarterback. Tampa Bay is not the most desirable of locations, but team wise, like I still think they're a contender. You have Tom Brady, you're going to be a contender, especially even now somehow. But yeah, I think they'll be good. Like especially because Tom Brady comes back, I bet a lot of those free agents are like, yeah, you know what? Let me run it back one more time.
Yeah.
Because of Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Gronk's going to be back probably. I mean, not even probably. He will be back.
Yeah.
NFC West, Arizona Cardinals re-signed Cole McCoy, re-signed James Conner, re-signed Zach Ertz. Giving James Conner 3 years, $21 million. It's kind of tough because you don't really like seeing, I guess, teams pay running backs like that. But he was
especially
good.
They lose
he was
Chase
good, especially.
Edmonds.
Yeah, he was good around the goal line last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, losing Edmonds and signing Connor to this, I mean, I don't know. You are only paying him, I guess, $5 million in his third year because he gets $16 million over the first two. So I guess that's all right, but I don't know. I feel like he's probably going to get cut after these 2 years.
Probably.
Zach Ertz, 3 years, $31 million. I don't know. This seemed like quite a bit too.
That is a lot. I think this offense is really good. I think if DeAndre Hopkins can stay healthy, they're really good. And if Christian Kirk was demanding $21 million, let him leave.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine with DeAndre Hopkins. You have Rondale Moore, who was really good last season. Probably draft somebody else in the draft with one of your first picks, maybe. See what happens. I still think that offense is good. I think they'll be fine.
The Rams re-signed Joe Noteboom, the offensive tackle, and they re-signed their center, Brian Allen. I know like Bears fans are pissed about Brian Allen not going to the Bears, but pretty good job by the Rams so far, keeping their offensive line. So Niners haven't done anything. All right, Seahawks. We didn't really talk about the Seahawks side of things with the trade. I really don't understand it, like from the Seahawks side of things,
Yeah.
because like it feels weird when you're kind of picking. Seems like you're picking Pete Carroll over Russell Wilson, which I
Hmm.
don't know. I feel like football is just kind of past Pete Carroll now.
Yeah.
Um, he's like 70 something years old, and I don't know. I don't know why you do that. Um, you get Drew Lock, who we both think could be something. We'll see, and I hope he is something. But
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
the way Pete Carroll wants to play is like ground and pound, like he wants to run the ball first. Which does set up play action very well because and Drew Lock, I mean, he's best off of play action. So, um, I don't know. I know Russ had the no trade clause, and Seattle wanted to do right by him. So, like, they entertained the offers from the teams that he wanted to go to. Um, but like, I feel like Russ kind of screwed him just because of, I mean, Denver. Like, we could have offered a lot more. Like, the
I
best
know.
asset in this deal is a number 9 pick. Like, honestly, that's the best asset in the deal, especially because Seattle doesn't have their own pick this year. So, like, they could have, like, I know Washington offered like 3 first round picks. They probably would have been a lot better first round picks. They probably offered some more players. But because Russ wanted to come to Denver, they were kind of screwed. And, like, you know what? Like, if we're going to trade him, we have to trade him to this team because he's going to sign off on anything else. But yeah, I think getting Fant and Locke is good. Those are 2 young weapons for an offense.
And
Sub
then
DK, sub Lockett.
this is where I don't understand. Like, do they think they're with
Gonna
them
compete.
asking for Shelby Harris? Do they think they're like gonna compete? Like, do they
Yeah.
think? I mean, I don't know. Like,
I think if they were going to compete, they wouldn't have released Bobby Wagner.
and they wouldn't have traded Russell
They
Wilson.
wouldn't have traded Russ. Yeah.
But then why do you go out and get a 30-something-year-old defensive tackle? I don't know.
Yeah,
And then like you
maybe.
get the 2 first-round picks, you get the 2 second-round picks, but what are the Seahawks known for in the draft?
Yeah.
They're known for
Screwing
drafting busts.
Yeah.
Like they're literally their best players since 2012 in the top 50. Like, I mean, you could look this up. I looked this up earlier. Their best player from since 2012 till now in the top 50 of picks, and they did trade a couple of them to get Jamal Adams. Their best player is Jordan Brooks. Like, that's the best player they drafted. All the other guys you've either never heard of, really, or they're just nothing. Like, their best player they drafted is Jordan Brooks, who plays the least valuable position on defense. And really, I mean, he's good, but he's not anything like special. Like,
Yeah.
I mean that the
That is,
GM,
they're not the team. Yeah, they're not a team that has drafted well at all. Really, even before 2012, like they just
I know.
not good at it.
And I mean, like, I don't know if they're trying to compete. Like, you're going to be one of the worst teams in the league when you can't even win last year with Russell Wilson. I mean, this team's going to be bad. Like,
yeah,
if they
I
like
think
it or not.
I think what they're trying to do is kind of do what Denver tried to do over the past few seasons, which is like rebuild but stay competitive at the same time. So it's like you don't have all your positions set, but you have your key pieces set. Like you have Jamal Adams, you have DK Metcalf, you have Tyler Lockett, you have your key guys, but you don't have a quarterback. You don't have a very good offensive line at all. Your defense is falling apart slowly, especially with Bobby Wagner leaving. So yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Dude, I don't know what the direction
I don't
of
know
the
why this Seahawks front office hasn't been like no one like talks about them like they're one of the worst in the league. I mean, they always talk about the Raiders are a joke for drafting players way too high, like compared to like the consensus kind of mock draft and where they're going to go. And the Seahawks do too, like with Rashad Penny and with Jordan Brooks. It's like, I mean, read the room. I mean, I know like maybe the Seahawks think like, oh, this guy's perfect for us and we need him now. Like he fits our culture and everything like that. But like you gotta kind of read it and see like Rashad Penny was not gonna go first round, neither was Jordan Brooks. And it's the same thing with the Raiders. And I feel like the Seahawks front office they hit on that 2012 draft with Sherman and Russ and Wagner, and maybe even, I don't know if Baldwin was part of that, but they pretty much drafted their whole Legion of Boom in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, just building that team, it's been horrendous.
Yeah, it's been really bad. And the entire direction of this franchise really changed when they throw the ball on the goal line instead of handing it off to Marshawn Lynch. Ever since then, they really have not had a high point in the franchise.
Yeah.
They have really been on the downward trajectory.
Like, I feel like that front office is down there with, like, the Panthers, the Jets of old, the Dolphins.
Yeah. Yeah, legit. Like, yeah, I agree with, like, they have not been good.
Yeah.
And they were kind of screwed because of, I mean, this is all they could have gotten if Denver was the team. And honestly, good on George Payton for not kind of giving in and giving him, like, you know, giving in Judy or Sutton or Justin Simmons or something. Like, honestly, if you give up a guy like Justin Simmons or you give up a guy like Judy for Russell Wilson, I still think this is a good trade because it's Russell Wilson. But they didn't get any piece. They didn't get any cornerstone at all.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to draft one with the 9th pick, and that's
and that has been a fella.
So yeah, just a really, really, really rough.
I'm kind of excited because, like, they have been picking pretty low, you know, the past couple years in the first round and everything, and the years where they would have had a high draft pick, it goes to the Jets. But
yeah, now
they actually do pick in the top 10, so we'll see. Like, maybe they hit on the high players better. I don't know.
Yeah. No, we'll have to figure it out. But yeah, Seattle, I think quarterback-wise, you know, they don't sign Trubisky. Who knows? Maybe they draft Malik Willis, Matt Corral, someone at 9. It's so good Denver doesn't have to, like, deal with that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's been so long since we haven't been like, oh, we're going to take a quarterback with the, you know, 9th pick, 10th pick. It's been so long since we had to do it. Or it's like, oh, are we going to sign Mitch Trubisky? Are we going to sign some mid-level vet to be a stopgap between drafts or something? Now we finally got our guy. But now Seattle is in that exact position. And I feel so bad for them because their front office is not good enough to get them out of it quick.
Yeah, I know.
Really unfortunate. Yeah, I think that this is – I don't know. I think Locke can be good. This is probably his last shot if he is going to be the starter going in. This probably is his last shot at being the guy or proving that he can be the guy.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him, but
and I hope so. I know. I want him to actually do really well.
I think pretty much that covers the NFL's past week.
Yeah.
Unless I'm just missing, like, a big trade or something I forgot about. But
I think so.
We'll probably start getting into the draft soon.
Yeah.
MLB, that stuff is happening too right now.
Rockies, for whatever reason, are going after Chris Bryant.
Yeah, I don't know. And, like, Schwarber and Conforto. I don't know what they're –
I really don't.
I don't know, dude. But the Braves traded for Matt Olson. They did give up quite a bit, though, it seemed like. I think they gave up, like, 3 of their top 10 prospects, including Pache and their number 2 guy. I'm blanking on the name. But that pretty much guarantees Freddie Freeman is gone.
Which really sucks because I feel like it's Freddie. Like, he is the Atlanta Braves. Like, he's the Atlanta Braves. I know you still have Acuna. You still have Ozzy Albies. You got a great rotation with Fried and Soroka. But it's Freddie. Like, Freeman has been the one guy who's been with your franchise through the good and bad the entirety of the 2010s. And I mean,
isn't baseball is just so weird like that? How literally – if you hit free agency,
you're gone.
You're gone. No one ever re-signs with your team.
Yeah.
It seems like unless it's some mega, like, 10-year, $40 million contract.
Yeah.
That you get while you're playing. But it's like once you reach the off season and you hit the open market, it's like they just leave. It makes no sense to me.
It's so weird.
Like, why is Chris Bryant just leaving the Giants? Like,
yeah, they just won 100. They just won 100 games. And you're one game away from the NLCS.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to the Rockies? Like, what?
I know. It's like Carlos Correa. Like, why leave the Astros?
Yeah, like why are you thinking about going to the Cubs or the Tigers or whatever?
Yeah.
Just stay with Houston.
Baseball just makes like I don't know. There's probably like baseball people who like really actually know why. Like maybe the teams just. But I don't know why. Like
Yeah, I
makes
feel
no
like
sense.
I feel like it just makes the most sense to just like if you're on a good team, stay with the team. Like I think some of the blame with the Freddie Freeman situation, like it has to go to the Braves for probably not offering enough or not like being good at negotiations. But at the same time, you are like you just won the World Series. You didn't have arguably your best player for the entirety of it. If you have Acuna still there and Freeman and you keep that pitching staff intact, you're gonna be in the NLCS again, at least.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
I don't know. It's like it would be like if Giannis just left Milwaukee after last year. It's like, how does it make any sense?
Yeah.
I don't understand. It seems like NFL, lots of players leave too, but it's not on the level of like.
It's not on this level. It's like
star players.
Extensions only happen to young players, like young, extremely talented players. Like Wander Franco got a fat extension. Juan Soto was offered an extension before the lockout, but he didn't take it. Like Mike Trout's got it.
He's got it. Soto got it.
Yeah, like
did Soto get it?
No, he didn't accept it. He didn't accept it, but like he got like a huge deal. It doesn't make any sense as to why extensions aren't offered to people who are older than the age of like 20. It's so weird.
I know, like 20, literally. It is weird. But yeah, we'll see where this keeps going. Baseball season starts like a month, I think.
Yeah, April. I think second week of April.
Yeah.
Or they can't. I think they canceled the second series.
Yeah.
Or the second week, the third and fourth series of the season. So. It's so the lockout situation is just so stupid.
I know, but it's settled, thankfully. And now all the free agents are. Oh, I mean, these trades also. It's like the Reds. I get you're moving off of like Suarez's contract, but it's like you just like traded this all-star who is like an MVP candidate for first half of the season, and you just let him go to the Mariners for literally like no.
They barely gave up anybody.
Jake Fraley is not good. Justin Dunn, I don't know, probably not that good. And then the other guy, I don't even know.
Brandon Williams, I think he's the only guy who I saw Mariners fans kind of like upset about. But
okay.
The rest of those guys, like give him like Jake Fraley, who cares? Like you get back two all-star caliber players.
I feel like I'm like a casual with this baseball stuff. It's like I don't get it. You just traded Jesse Winker for literally nothing.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm sure like there'd be MLB fans who like think, oh, that's a good trade. I don't understand it really. I know Winker can't hit lefties.
Yeah,
but like still, I don't know.
Also, the Yankees trading for Josh Donaldson. That was another thing that like so many baseball fans are upset about, and I'm like. It's like I didn't get why they were so upset about it. Like I understand because it means that the Yankees probably won't make a move for a guy like Correa or Chris Bryant or somebody, but like they were angry that they gave up Gary Sanchez. And I'm like, Gary Sanchez isn't good. Like I feel like Gary Sanchez is not a good MLB player.
Yeah.
Like why are you angry? Josh Donaldson's still okay, especially with
I know.
a tiny park like Yankee Stadium. He's gonna be bombing things out there.
Yeah, I don't know. Baseball just seems it's so like advanced now. With all the numbers and everything, and it's going over my head right now. That is for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that pretty much does it, right?
I think so. I think that's all. It's a lot that happened in the last week. Oh man, the Jazz just went on an 8-0 run. The Jazz. There was this NBA has changed so much. It was a 3-on-1 fast break. And Jordan Clarkson, instead of going to the rim, he goes to the wing. The other guy at the other end of the fast break also goes to the wing. And the one defender commits to the wing. He doesn't commit to the paint because he already knows they're going to shoot a three. And they still shoot a three contested and he makes it. So it's like,
that's Jordan Clarkson for you.
Yeah. I think Bones Hyland can beat Jordan Clarkson. I think he can beat Denver's Jordan.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's what I'm saying. Hopefully it can be like better than like a Emmanuel Quickly or a Jordan Clarkson. Because I know like Emmanuel Quickly is like the comparison now, but I'm hoping like can he be something more than just a 6-man spark plug?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think he can. He has a really complete offensive game.
I mean, that passing. I think that's kind of what puts him over the top. Jordan Clarkson doesn't pass.
No,
that's for damn sure. He just doesn't. And then Emmanuel Quickly, he's probably not as good of a playmaker. So I think that's probably the difference right there is the passing.
Mm-hmm. I think he could be really good. I'm really excited to see how his career develops.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Connolly seems to have done it again. Another late round pick. Excited to see what he does in this draft.
Yeah, I don't.
There's one guy who I really want the Nuggets to get from Kansas, Ochai Agbaji.
Oh yeah, Agbaji.
I don't know if it'll happen because he ended the season pretty good. And Kansas won the Big Ten, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll talk about it when we get there, but still not like 4 months till the NBA.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when it happens. But
maybe we'll talk about March Madness stuff. I need to fill out my bracket.
Oh yeah, me too. When does it start? Thursday?
Yeah, but there's like two whatever the play-in
games. Yeah.
Tuesday and
I'll fill it in tomorrow during advanced issues in sports.
Yeah. But all right, I think that just about does it. Went through the NBA, went through NFL, went through a little bit of MLB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say?
Not really. Hopefully Denver can win against the Wizards. They've been playing decent as of late, honestly. Yeah, I think NBA-wise, nothing. Good win for Denver. I was fully expecting them to get blown out because this game we just don't win these types of games. National TV on the road.
I know, and they always start off so bad on national TV, especially on the road, and it's just like always. Why do they keep doing? They just look so stupid.
Yeah, no.
On national TV, they just look bad. And Jokic just looks bad, and it's like, how is this team good? And then they finally start to pick it up, but it's like, damn.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's so weird. So basketball is weird sport. I mean, like it was a 19-point game, but he didn't even feel like it was like over.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
I know. I kept feeling like, okay, whatever, we're gonna come back. Well, because in the first quarter the Nuggets had like 7 turnovers, didn't make a 3.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Eagles had like 1 turnover and they made all the 3s.
Yeah.
And it's like.
There's a Taco Bell commercial on right now.
Yeah, I know. FedEx now. All right. I'm good, I think.
Yeah, I think that's it. This was supposed to be a normal podcast, like an edited version, but I didn't think it's good that we got it all out. We'll see scheduling wise how it works out. We will be here Wednesday again for this next Nuggets game. We'll update on that live stream, assuming on any free agency updates in both baseball and football. Yeah.